What's going on, people? Hypershotic46 here, coming at you with a brand new video. This is going to be a new series I'm doing on lessons on the trading card game Yu-Gi-Oh. I wouldn't say I'm the best, but I'm a pretty good duelist myself. But you know what? Let's just go right in. If you're unfamiliar with the trading card game Yu-Gi-Oh, what it is that it was a game based on a show. You play card games and yeah, that's basically it. Just play card games. So for the first part, I'm going to tell you that there are three special sort of cards. You have your monsters, you have your spells, and then you have your traps, in that order. But today we're going to be learning about monsters. So let's go ahead and put the spells and traps away. Now then, there are two types of monsters in the game Yu-Gi-Oh! You have your effect monsters, which come in a sort of orange-ish sort of color, and then you have your normal monsters, which are like a orangish yellow, well, a yellowish brown, like a sand color. They're called vanilla monsters. Anyway, so the difference between an effect monster and a normal monster is that a normal monster sort of has an italic sort of text explaining about the character on the card, whereas an effect monster has a sort of a description of what effect it does. So whereas this card called Photon Leo, its ability is when it's normal summon, you can have your opponent shuffle their entire hand into the deck. Then they draw the same amount of cards they shuffled into the deck. Whereas Neo the Magic Swordsman, which is a normal monster, just says a dimensional drifter who not only practices sorcery but is also a sword and martial arts master. That's not really much of effect if you ask me. But yeah, so there are two types of monsters. Now, on the monsters, there are specific types. Yes, there are types of monsters in types of monsters, if that kind of makes sense. Kind of monster inception here. So you have many sort of monsters. You have beast monsters, you have spellcasters, you have beast warriors, you have machines, dragons, fiends, machines, and I do believe there's. Oh, yeah, and then you have your warriors. So, yeah, that's a lot of monsters to get over. Yes, I just realized I said machine twice. Please don't get on me about that in the comments. But that is a lot of a lot of monsters to really kind of, keep track of. But it's not that hard when you think about it, because all you have to do is just kind of build a deck around that specific sort of monster. Like me, I mostly have a warrior deck, but some of these monsters are in said warrior deck. Like I may have a dragon, maybe like a dragon or two here or there, but yeah, that's it. So what we're about to get into is that there are also there are also specific types in specific types. And what I mean by that is that not only do you have the type of monster being normal or effect or beast and a spellcaster, you also have another sort of effect. Like in this case, you have tuner monsters. Now, this please try to keep along with this. I'm going to explain this as best as I can and as simple as I can. So, tuner monsters have a special ability. Tuner monsters, when they are put on the field with another monster, they can synchro summon a synchro monster. Now, I only have one synchro monster, and thankfully, I have one at least to be able to do this video. So, tuner monsters, like I said, they're with others. You can make a synchro monster. Synchro monsters are effects. I don't think I've ever seen a normal synchro monster. They come in sort of like a whitish color, like a very, very light gray. And yeah, synchro monsters can only be made if you have tuners and another monster. Because it can't just be one monster. They have to be able to mix and make a tuner. Make a synchro, I'm sorry. And one thing about synchros is that when you synchro summon something, their level, yes, each card comes with a specific level. So whereas Hypersynchron is a level 4, Magna Drago is a level 2. Synchro monster, there are three special types of monsters. You have synchros, you have XCs, and sadly I don't have it, but you also have fusion monsters. I don't have a fusion monster, so I won't be able to get into that. So when I do, I will make a video on that, so don't worry about that one. But these cards are considered extra deck cards, and extra deck cards work on rank, not level. So this would be a rank 6 card, and this would be a rank 4 card. So with synchro monsters, when you synchro summon something, their rank has to equal the level of both monsters combined. So if I had Magna Drago on the field, and then let's say if he's still alive, by next turn I summon Hyper Synchron. Both monsters don't have to be tuners, but as long as one of them is a tuner, you'll be just fine. But then I can send both of them to the graveyard to synchro summon my synchro monster, because he's a rank 6, and when you add the two levels together, 4 plus 2 of course equals 6. I believe I can do math pretty well. I am, of course, in high school. But yeah, so that's synchros and tuners out the way. Now, like I said, synchro monsters, I would say all the time, are going to be effect monsters. So don't worry about getting all confused or mixed up with that. So synchros aside, now we go into XZ monsters, or how other people will call them, XYZs. Now, XZ monsters work differently. Unlike synchros, you don't have to send cards to the graveyard. But of course, they have to have the same. I can't stress it enough. They have to have the same rank, as the levels have to equal the same rank. So as with let's take my XZ monster Utopia. He requires 2 level 4 monsters. So the way how this works, let's say if I had a level 4 monster, my Axe Raider, and I were to play another card, a random card, let's say a Magna Drago again, I wouldn't be able to put these two together to XZ Utopia because Magna Drago is not a level 4, he's a level 2, so I wouldn't be able to do that. But let's say if I had another level 4, so Mystical Elf, I could put those two together, and then I'd be able to XZ summon my Utopia. So, let's recap what we've done. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to try to make this as painless as possible and try to make this as easy to understand, because I know there are going to be some beginners out there who do want to understand the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And it is a pretty fun game, I will admit. I do this at school with a bunch of friends. We have a lot of fun moments. But, so, we have tuner monsters. Tuner monsters always have to equal to the same rank as a synchro monster. So if you're going to synchro summon something, make sure that you have at least one tuner monster, and that when you put 2 or more monsters in the graveyard, their level equals the same rank number as that monster. So that's out of the way. We recapped. Next, we have remember XC monsters. Whatever the card requires, that's how many monsters you put down, or XC material. So, of course, 2 level 4s. So we have 1, 2 level 4s, just overlay them, and then you can XC summon a monster. Then we have, then we go back into effect monsters and then normal monsters. So remember, normal monsters are the yellowish vanilla monsters, and then we have the orangish brownish effect monsters. So, if you have any other questions, I will be sure to answer them. Just comment down below, and yeah, I will see you later. Remember, rate, comment, and subscribe, and Hypersonic on. This is Hypersonic signing off. Oh gosh, thank you and good night.